You weren't created just to exist. You weren't placed here to punch a clock, to merely survive from Monday to Friday, praying for a weekend that vanishes in a blink. You are not a passenger in life. You are the storm behind the wheel. Every breath you take is not just air, it's purpose waiting to be unleashed. This world, it's loud. It's cluttered with distractions, noise, expectations that don't belong to you. They want you tired, they want you silent, they want you obedient, but something inside you keeps burning. A quiet fire, a voice that says, this can't be all there is. And that voice is right. You're not here to be average. You were built with the bones of resilience and the soul of a warrior. You were designed for mountains, not safety nets, for impact, not comfort. Most people play it safe. They trade their fire for stability. They walk through life half asleep, hoping to die without pain instead of living with purpose. But you were never meant to fit into that mold. There's too much vision in your mind, too much energy in your veins. Every time you doubted yourself, remember, that was the world talking, not your spirit. You've already survived things that should have broken you. You've already conquered storms people don't even know you walked through. You're still here, breathing, fighting. That's not weakness, that's legacy in motion. You are not late, you are not behind. Your timing is divine, and your power is just waking up. Do you know what's rare? Someone who doesn't quit. Someone who's been knocked down 100 times and still rises like it's day one. Someone who builds in the dark while others scroll, binge, complain. That's you. They'll call you obsessed. Good. They'll say you've changed. Excellent. They'll question your priorities. Perfect. Because while they're watching, you're working. While they sleep, you grow. While they gossip, you execute. You don't need their approval. You need your vision. You don't need a map. You need a mission. Let the hunger haunt you. Let the sleepless nights fuel you. Let every no carve a deeper reason for your yes. Because greatness is not a gift. It's a decision made every day in silence when no one claps for you. There's a version of you that terrifies the average. A version of you that doesn't hesitate, doesn't doubt, doesn't shrink. That version is real. It's waiting for you to claim it. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now you've been underestimated your whole life. They measured you by what they could see, not by what you were becoming. But you were never meant to be understood by the small-minded. You were meant to disrupt, to rise when others retreat, to lead where no path exists. Every second you spend doubting your worth is a second stolen by fear. But fear is a liar. Fear is a thief. It's dressed up in logic and caution, whispering, stay comfortable, but nothing legendary ever came from comfort. You've been through fire. You've battled quiet wars, mental, emotional, spiritual, but you never let it destroy you. You let it define you. You turned pain into power, loss into leverage. Don't apologize for your ambition. Don't shrink so others can feel tall. You weren't put on this earth to fit in. You were born to build your own empire. The system taught you to be small, to stay in line, but you are not a cog in their machine. You are the architect of your future. They won't hand you the life you dream of. No permission slip, no invitation. You will have to take it, with raw grit, with painful discipline, with the kind of consistency that makes even your doubts give up. And you will be alone sometimes. You will outgrow people. You will walk away from comfort zones that used to feel like home. Because evolution demands separation. Not everyone is meant to go where you're headed. The price of elevation is isolation. Most will never understand your path. They'll mock what they fear because your ambition makes their excuses uncomfortable. Let them laugh, let them talk, let them doubt. Because every empire was once a dream, and every empire began with one person who said, I won't settle. That person is you. You carry a fire too wild to be tamed, a hunger too deep to be silenced. You don't wait for opportunities, you build them. You don't need a spotlight, you create your own stage. While others wish, you work. While they distract, you design. Your dreams are not random. They were planted in you for a reason. They are the evidence of who you were meant to become, and you've barely scratched the surface. There will be days when your only motivation is the memory of how far you've already come. You'll sit in silence, in the dark, and remind yourself that the version of you from a year ago would be stunned by your resilience today. Growth isn't always visible in the mirror. Sometimes it hides in discipline, in habits, in sacrifices no one claps for. You won't always be understood, but that's not the purpose of this path. You are not here to be liked, you're here to build. And builders don't need applause, they need vision and fire. Most people collapse under pressure. Leaders are born inside of it. When life turns up the heat, you don't melt, you forge sharper edges. Pressure isn't your enemy, it's your proving ground. Every burden you carry, every battle you fight is shaping you into something unbreakable. You don't chase comfort, you chase legacy. And legacies aren't built in soft conditions. You don't just want more, you were built for more. That's why average never satisfies you. Why mediocrity feels like suffocation. You're wired for greatness, and the world can feel it even if they don't understand it. That's why they doubt you. That's why they whisper when you walk into the room. Because deep down, they know if you stay consistent, nothing will stop you. And that's exactly what you intend to do. There's a war no one sees, fought behind your eyes in the early hours before the world wakes. It's not with others, it's with the voice that says you're not enough. But every day you rise and keep going, you prove that voice wrong. You armor yourself with intention, with hunger, with the pain that once broke you. The silence is not weakness, it's your battlefield. And in that silence, you are undefeated. The future doesn't belong to the loudest, it belongs to the most prepared. You don't need to announce every move. Your results will speak in volumes. While they seek validation, you build a foundation, one that lasts, one that shakes the ground when you walk. The life you dream of is already waiting, but only for the version of you who refuses to fold. So don't fold, evolve. One day your name will be spoken in rooms you've never entered, not because you shouted the loudest, but because your work echoed long after the noise died. Your journey is not about going viral, it's about going legendary. The goal is not to impress people, it's to inspire generations. Brick by brick, choice by choice, you are building a legacy that even time will respect. And when they ask how you did it, you'll answer with 2 words: I decided. Success doesn't come when you're being watched. It arrives in the hours no one claps for, when your eyes burn from exhaustion but you push through anyway, when no one's listening but you still speak your goals into existence. The world will call it overnight, but you'll remember the nights that nearly broke you, the quiet victories that no one saw but you never forgot. Not everyone was built for this climb, but you were. You were born to turn pressure into diamonds, failure into blueprints, and fear into fuel. You were not designed for comfort, you were designed for conquest. And even though storms come, you don't bend like the others. You walk through fire, not to prove a point, but because the fire sharpens your edge. You're not becoming something, you're revealing what's always been there. They want it, but you will have it. That's the difference. They post about it, you practice it. They talk, you execute. They wait for a sign, you become one. You weren't meant to blend in, you were meant to redefine the standard. Let them sleep on you, let them underestimate you, because while they relax, you reload. You don't need recognition right now. You need results. Every step, every mistake, every small win is stacking in your favor. You're not just playing the game, you're building the board. When it's time to strike, the world will wonder where you came from. But you'll know, you never left, you just moved in silence. You don't chase likes, you chase vision. You don't need a crowd, you need clarity. The masses follow trends, you build empires. You don't care about fitting in when you were born to stand alone. Your moves are intentional, calculated, unapologetic, and soon, your discipline will become your freedom. You don't wake up hoping, you wake up choosing to dominate, to demand more from yourself than anyone else ever could. You don't wait for the day to hand you something, you rip the opportunities out of it. Discipline over emotion, vision over distraction. While others hit snooze, you hit the ground running, and that's why you'll win. This life, you don't get a second version. You either write your story or you become part of someone else's. You weren't put here to copy, to settle, to beg. You were made to lead, to build, to reign. Your name is already echoing through the future. It's time to live like it, because at the end of it all, when the world forgets the noise, your name will remain. They see the victories, they admire the glow up, but they never see the nights you cried in silence, the moments you questioned everything. Success is romanticized, but the truth, it's dark, it's lonely, it's full of fear, failure, and fire. This is the part they won't teach you, the mental war. The war where you fight doubt, temptation, laziness, and the urge to quit. But if you survive that war, you walk out forged in something far more powerful than motivation. You walk out with unshakable purpose. Every day, you're building silently. While they party, you're planning. While they sleep, you're sacrificing. Not because you hate rest, but because you love your future more than your comfort. You chose the pain of growth over the pain of regret. You chose to be remembered, not for excuses, but for execution. The average won't understand. That's okay. Legends are not built on validation. They are built in isolation. There's a line, a fine, almost invisible line between those who win and those who fold. It's not about talent. It's not about who had the better start. It's about who was willing to take one more step after the pain hit, one more move after the failure, one more try after the door slammed shut. You don't lose when it gets hard. You lose when you stop. Winners feel the pain too. They get tired, frustrated, even broken at times. But when the average turns back, they take one more step. And in that step lies the separation. That's where history changes. That's where average ends and greatness begins. If you're listening to this, this is your call to take one more step, no matter what. Luxury is misunderstood. It's not the car, not the watch, not the mansion. Luxury is what happens when you've earned the freedom to live life on your terms. It's the reward of waking up when you want, creating when you want, and never begging for opportunities again. Luxury is power, and power is earned through relentless value, unmatched discipline, and razor-sharp execution. You don't chase status, you attract it through results. You don't flash wealth, you become so valuable the world pays to watch you move. Let others flex what they can't afford to impress who don't care. You move different, because real wealth doesn't scream. It whispers through precision, patience, and presence. You build something so untouchable that no one can deny it.